Welcome to the November 19th, 2013 Board of Directors meeting for the Petaluma Community Access TV. And who's going to, okay, the secretary is here this time. Please call the roll, please.
Cindy Thomas.
Here.
Matt Pearson.
Here.
Jason Davies, myself, and I am here. Neil Fishman.
Here.
And Rachel Moran.
Has excused yourself?
And I did get the memo on that. And George Utrilla is not here. Marcia Trent is here. Saw her.
Let her say here.
Hard missed.
Tim Williamson.
Here.
Okay.
John Bertucci.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum, and I don't believe we have anybody here for public comment tonight, so we'll go to the Board of Directors comments and announcements. Anyone? 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 No? Not tonight? Nothing, Matt?
You know what? Open registration will be coming up soon, so if you want to take a class at the junior college, I encourage you to do that for the spring semester, which starts the third week of January. So if anyone has been itching or wanting to take a class or start a new program towards a new career, come on down.
When does it end, the quarter?
When does the quarter end? The quarter semester will always end the last week of May. But in case that's an issue, we also, in addition to having our 17 and a half week classes, we also have a bunch of 14-week and 10-week classes too. If there's a delayed start, if that's an issue for you.
For your reading enjoyment.
That's right.
Terrific.
I was just going to thank Tim for filling in for me for secretary for the last 2 meetings, I believe.
Shut up.
And thank you, everyone
He's
else.
being nice.
The only other thing I was going to say is that I went to the Veterans Day parade. It looked like there were some PCA people there doing some video, so that's great. And I just wanted to express thanks.
Okay, anyone else? It's also open enrollment period for your health care. Okay, so everybody's had a chance to look at the agenda, I'm assuming, and if there's any modifications, speak now. If not, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve it.
I'll move it.
Okay, so Fishman and Williamson, all those, anyone oppose? Okay. Approval of the minutes for the October 15, 2013 meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look at those, I hope.
John.
Yeah, I've got one amendment.
Okay.
Forgot to mark the absentees last meeting.
Hmm.
I caught that
I
after
missed
I
that
said
too.
it.
Who typed those?
So, let's see, Jason was absent, Neil was absent, and George was absent. So I will correct that on the records we keep at the office.
Yeah, but I was having fun.
Did you get all that, Mr. Secretary?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Doesn't too much fun.
Okay, any other corrections? If not, do we want to get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, I'll second. Okay, anyone opposed or abstaining?
I'll abstain, I wasn't here.
Okay,
I
Fishman
have to abstain
abstained,
as well.
and
Jason abstained.
Davies. Okay, so the next item is the treasurer's report. Are you prepared to give us a report?
Well, I got the report literally 15 minutes ago, but I think I have most of the answers for you.
Okay.
We've been spending a little bit more aggressively than normal the last 2 months, just because we're building the radio station, studio, and other things. Bills are coming due. John just had given me a couple larger delayed bills that we hadn't paid for a few months, like our custodial bill, which the custodial company apparently lost or didn't get caught up on their invoicing for us for 7 months. It just happened at one time. So, I asked a question for the first time in quite a while. We fell below $100,000 and currently have 89,000 and change in the bank account. But John has an answer for that, and he'll talk about it in his,
Oh, I can cover it now.
okay.
Makes more sense. I didn't need to put it in my report. But I put the pay fee checks from Comcast and AT&T in my report because I was counting on them getting here. They didn't, but they are in City Hall. I called over and asked to get the numbers. Cindy said she'd call back, but she didn't. So I don't have the numbers yet, but the checks are here. Should be in the bank in a week, and I'll send you the balance.
And
That's both AT&T and
great.
Comcast.
Beyond that, the last major official duty for the treasurer is, we all know that the financial review is all done and complete, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And anybody have any questions that I may or may not be able to answer?
I have one. How is it that we fell 7 months behind without noticing that we weren't writing
Well,
a
it
check
was
for that?
because it was the first 7 months,
Okay.
and I missed it.
We've never written them a check, but it was a condition of the new lease agreement with the expansion of the other half.
Okay.
And so I remember reading that. Now that John gave me the check, I said, oh yeah, I don't remember writing that before.
Yeah.
So,
We may have given them one check to initiate the service, but it's $88 a month, and they come in every other week and vacuum, clean, empty the waste paper baskets.
Okay. But you do have some kind of list a checkoff list monthly
No,
that,
not really, but I got a pretty good rhythm on it. But this was a brand new one, and it's just,
He has a
yeah, I got great rhythm, but I gotta write at home. At home, I got a page for every month and I check it, and if it's,
okay,
no, I mean.
my
no.
bad.
No, it's all right. No, it's okay. But if you got run over by a truck or something, what would your replacement do?
Pay the checks when the invoices
Yeah,
come.
there'd be an invoice.
No, I'm just wondering if maybe we shouldn't have some kind of a little system, just a little
Yeah.
something.
Well, I do get calls from Brooke that adds up when our Comcast bill comes in late, and it's always.
Okay, that's good.
So, no, they're
Yeah,
watching.
that's where I was thinking that the red flag would come from, is from our
No, I do get red
accounting
flags from
person.
them, but this one slipped their radar, slipped our radar.
It's okay, it's okay.
So,
I'm not trying to spank anyone, I'm just trying to help you.
That sounds like it.
a question on the income expense, and I guess this is for John. We have it's 515, grants is supposed to be up at 1668, that's what we have budgeted, a total annual of 5,000. So far, we've received no grants. And what kind of grants do we anticipate receiving, or is that just
It's
sort
a
of?
target,
It's
it's
a
just
target.
a soft target.
we had also, at the time that we did the budget, we're in negotiation with the Petaluma Health Center, who wanted to give us a grant, and that unfortunately fell through. So when we were doing the budget, we had a couple things that we thought were solid and never materialized.
I assume this doesn't leave us with a big hole if we don't get that $5,000.
I factor the whole in.
Okay, good job. And so you know, I did get a check recently for 10 months of delinquent back dues on my union dues, okay? That makes you feel better.
Misery loves company.
I just sent out some invoices late.
Okay, is that it?
I think so.
Any other questions, anyone? Okay. Thank you, Matt. John, are you ready for the executive director's
Sure
report?
am.
Okay,
See
good.
what we got on my items. Yeah, the tax returns, the financials, and the annual reports are all done, taken care of, sent off the tax returns, and delivered the financials and annual report to City Hall. The total cost was $4,162. Balance that against last year when we paid $8,500. So the financial review was a very nice gesture. I probably should thank John. I'll send him an accounting. The quarterly checks, that's been explained. They're in City Hall and they should be cleared by the accounting department very soon. Studio build out, we're We're just polishing up, or I should say Zach is just polishing up the handbook for procedures and setting up a curriculum to do classes. And that could be exciting. We're talking now with, Amy and I and Zach are talking about taking advantage of our new Chamber of Commerce membership. They do free ribbon cutting events. And we thought we might set up a ribbon cutting event with a press release, get the press over and take pictures. That will be when it is open for public use. It has been used, the mayor, Kay Chandler does the mayor show. She
I
came
saw
in
it.
with John Crowley and the mayor, and
It was
They
a
did a
good
show.
show.
It was good.
you've seen it, okay?
Yeah.
And Zach, I think, did a really
John
good job.
emailed a link to it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Was that the first show that's been done there now?
Well,
In the studio?
the interns did a little piece that we've been playing, kind of a mockumentary,
Cool.
and they're still working. Zach's using the interns to work through the manual,
Cool.
the handbook. So
Nice.
if they don't understand it there, he corrects it and makes it better. The only thing that's really not functioning is the green screen, and that we're trying to get that up and running. We got the application was submitted on the 13th for the low-powered FM license. Zach's checking to see exactly how long it's going to take for them to make a decision. But we made the deadline. Had a lot of help from Matt. We're gonna be locating the transmitter on the San Jose JC Petaluma campus. Not exactly sure where. They selected a building, but we have a lot of room to move.
Awesome.
It could be changed. Let's see, Zach got the Comcast TV back in our office. A couple of hours on the phone, and he managed to get 3 extra boxes with only a $2 addition to our monthly bundle bill. So we have a total of four functioning TVs, and it's neat. It was unfortunate we didn't have those TVs running for the open house. That was the only fly in the ointment. Our November classes, we've been offering 6-hour classes on Saturday, and we were planning to have one last Saturday, but we only have one sign up. These classes are $80 for members, but this time we're doing an intermediate editing class, and we were gonna give a discount to people who had taken the basic class, if they wanted to take the intermediate. So we've rescheduled for this coming Saturday. If you're interested in getting to the next level of Final Cut Pro 10, come on down.
Can I ask a quick question on that? If you took a Final Cut Pro class in the past, would you be ready to take part 2 even though it isn't the same part 1 you're showing now?
If we're talking about Final Cut Pro 10, because that first class, Final Cut Pro 10 is a completely different platform for everything.
Okay, so
So-
it is better to
yeah.
take 101.
You need to start with 101.
Okay.
And actually,
And
yeah,
then-
the Final Cut 10 is significantly different from
Yeah.
the studio that we used before.
Okay.
And we thought that the intermediate class would be a bit of a curriculum, but mostly the people who had learned would probably come back with questions after the next step in their specialized directions. We are talking about preparing other classes. I did one a couple years ago on interview techniques. Mario's itching to do one on digital photography. Thomas would be doing one on sound techniques, and Zach will get the studio production class up. We have a November screening tomorrow night. Kind of exciting. We've got 2 short films about immigration, one from PBS and the other locally produced in the Canal District of San Rafael. And both of them have guest speakers. We have Gilbert Maya, who's featured in Sin Paez, and Francisco Diaz, who was the filmmaker of Why We Come. These are free screenings. We give priority seating to PCA members. We can seat anywhere from 15 to 20 somehow managed. We have popcorn, and that's another event that should be well attended. We did some outreach to the JC and the Sonoma State to see if they wanted to send people down. We launched a real interesting program with the Downtown Association that really caught on. I was taking Amy to introduce her to the Downtown Association. They meet, the downtown meeting is once a month, and then they have a larger meeting for the larger business community. And we proposed that this year we would take their, we would create a bulletin that would be kind of a Merry Christmas card. And if any downtown merchant that wanted to participate just had to send us a picture, their address, and their website, and we would plug it in. And it's really framed as the Downtown Association. That would be the logo we put on it. And we've got maybe 10 submissions already.
Nice.
Yeah. Just a side note, you really should shop local. The downtown is holding their breath this Christmas. It could be make or break for a lot of them. So when I heard that, I thought we'd go the extra mile, and I'm surprised we didn't think of this sooner. It's very popular. It's best wishes from so-and-so, and you get a picture of their shop. I already mentioned the John Crowley and Mayor Glass coming in with Kay. That was a great shoot. And the Veterans Day Parade was a real good crew, smooth production, and video should be up by the end of this week. It was a big parade, long, but when we were building out our studio, we got some extra field equipment, a switcher that we purchased that made the whole process a lot easier. And Zach's mother has a little shop on Kentucky Street, so we had our electricity all figured out, and we put up a table and brought in some interns, and Amy was there to chat up passerbys on PCA, and they all came back rather jazzed. So it's going great.
Great. That it?
That's it.
Thank you, John. Any questions for John? Comments? Okay, moving on. No items on the consent calendar. Are there any reports of committees? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to old business, which is item 10. So 10A, discussion and possible action on appointment of board officers. It's that time. We do in October. We wanted to wait until more of you were here. So, any discussion before we get into nominations?
We have an open seat. The vice chair is open.
They're actually all open.
Okay, let's put it that way. Would the incumbents please rise?
Does everyone know who the
But
open
everybody
is?
who's not, stay.
Okay, I'll just start off by saying I'm happy to remain as chair, but if somebody else wants to do it, that's fine. I also don't want any of you to hesitate to self-nominate, because that's not being big-headed, that's volunteering, and, you know, it's a little bit more responsibility than what you signed up for, but all right. Any comments to that?
I'll nominate myself for vice chair as long as you
You will?
promise you'll always be here. And I know you never have to actually do anything.
Okay. Should we go in order, or should we just jump over to vice chair, since that one's vacant?
Well, let's do, should we confirm that you're gonna remain as chair? Do we do that? Do we need a procedure for that? Do we need to
I
nominate?
nominate Cindy for,
And I second.
Yeah.
So I have to
Okay.
note that.
All right, then I'll
So-
accept the nomination. Are there any other nominations for chair? Are there any other nominations for chair? Are there any other nominations for chair? And just so you know, this is Robert's Rule of Order. You have to ask 3 times. I'm not being redundant here, so, all right. Then all those in favor of Cindy Thomas for chair, raise your hand. All right,
Unanimous.
I'll do it. All right, so
I'll-
for the position of vice chair, do we have any nominations?
I'll nominate Neil Fishman.
Okay, I'll second
I
that.
won't run, and if nominated, I won't serve, no.
You did get a second on my nomination, did you? I didn't mean that.
I second.
Yeah.
Was the tie between
I thought I
Jason and
heard you
Marcia.
say that, but I couldn't remember, okay. All right, so are there any other nominations for vice chair? Any other nominations for
Anybody
vice
want it?
chair?
I mean, I'm happy to.
Any other nominations for vice chair? No, not you, Tim?
Why do you have to ask?
All right, so all those in favor of Neil
Tim-
Fishman for
Who was the
vice
second?
chair?
Sorry, who was the second for the motion for,
You made the
Fishman.
motion,
so who's
Marcia
second?
was the second.
Oh, Marcia, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. Okay, for the position of treasurer, we'll take nominations now. I'll nominate Matt Pearson.
I'll
Second,
second.
would second.
Anyone else? Anyone else?
Are there any other nominations for treasurer? Any other nominations, treasurer? Any other nominations for treasurer?
Tim?
Okay, all those in favor of Matt Pearson for treasurer, raise your hand. Okay, it's unanimous.
Vote for yourself.
Okay.
Oh, it's not unanimous if he didn't vote for himself, did he?
I didn't vote for
He
myself,
was,
but I
Why
see
didn't
what I
you?
voted for
wasn't fast
myself.
enough.
Everybody else did.
Because I have
Come
to,
on.
do I have to record if this is unanimous or not?
You're not gonna vote for yourself? All
I'll,
So that means it's
Yeah,
gonna
right.
say not unanimous by your name. Is that what you want?
Raise your
That
hand.
would be
You'll
That's
unanimous.
the
never be
history,
able to shake
man.
that. That's gonna be the internet, it's gonna haunt you for years.
Did
That'll
you-
be regular animus.
Did you guys vote for yourselves?
Yeah,
Okay, so you're all unanimous, he's the only one who's unsure of himself. I'm
it's
putting
gonna
you
go,
down.
that'll probably show up in your performance review
Let's
at
see your
college.
See your hand, come
Come on.
on. Come on.
I was gonna abstain, I mean, you know, but
Okay, Matt abstains.
I saw his hand go up.
Let the
All
rec-
right.
Let the record show, otherwise unanimous.
Okay, so everybody's favorite, secretary.
I nominate Jason.
I second
I
that
second.
motion.
I am absolutely happy to have somebody else do it who would love to step up and have a great time doing it. If nobody else will do it, the same reason I ended up doing it was because no one else wanted to, so I will continue doing what I can.
Stop your whining.
People need to
But I'm
know
happy
their
to share the
limitations.
love with someone
Yes,
else. who
I
wants
know the feeling. Okay, are there any other nominations for secretary? Any other nominations?
Maybe
for
we need a vice
secretary?
secretary.
Any other nominations for secretary? Okay, all those in favor of Jason for secretary, raise your hand. Raise your hand, Jason.
All right,
Alright.
okay, wait a minute.
It's
though.
unanimous,
Raise your right
okay,
But, I'm sorry, who nominated me though? Who motioned?
Tim.
Okay. so- Who seconded again?
I
No
think
ego
I-
problem here.
Neil did.
No, I
Why do I
think
have to do this
Neil
job
seconded.
and the
Cindy.
secretary job for you?
Cindy seconded.
wasn't it?
Whatever.
I'm not
I
a
heard-
practice.
I think everybody over here seconded
We
it.
did.
Well, that's what I mean, it's confusing, you
That's
guys
an
all talk at
indication of the
once.
people that don't.
Don't
want
wanna do it, exactly.
No, I got a better indication of people that don't wanna do it.
it. What's that? They don't show up?
And that's from-
All right,
Yeah.
is that it?
Okay, I think we did it.
All
I
right.
think we have an executive committee. Okay, so we're done with old business and new business, item 11. A is discussion and possible action on the appointment of a board director.
Oh, you skipped one.
I did?
Old business B.
Oh, Jason deleted it.
Oh, I don't have a.
I don't have a B, I didn't have a B on mine either.
I didn't either.
do you have the new version or the second, the old
Well,
version?
see, I did have another version, and I guess I threw the wrong one away.
I sent you a draft
Yeah,
that
no,
didn't
that
have
no.
it, and you said you wanted to talk about it again, so I put it on.
Oh, is that the retreat?
The retreat.
Yes.
I
You
don't
don't
have
have
that either, no.
Okay, I guess we can't talk about it.
We did put in there that the people who don't get.
Okay, well, we can't.
Wait a
leave-
minute, wait a
No,
minute,
we
wait a
can,
minute.
we can reopen the agenda.
Yeah.
It's not a Brown Act.
Well, okay, what does the version on the table show? Does it have B?
Oh,
Going
The one
on-
right
in
back
the
there?
meeting here shows the,
You have B?
Yeah, it
The version on
does,
the
yeah.
table.
The one I
Okay,
sent
okay.
should have it.
All right. All right,
That's good.
Did Jason
okay, if
mess
there's
that
no
up?
complaints
That's what I was
about
trying
that,
to figure out.
then we will go ahead and discuss that. The retreat, okay, what I
Yeah.
wanted to do was I
Sit
really
down.
did wanna nail down because a lot of us didn't participate in the discussion, so, I didn't bring my notes. The options were to take a Tuesday night when this meeting is scheduled, which is what we've done in the past, and hold a brief board meeting and then work through our retreat agenda. That's option A. And then the other option is to take a Saturday and spend 4 hours, 6 hours, whatever, and hire a facilitator and take a fundraising type course. And what was the other item? Was there another one, or was that
No, it
it?
was fundraising, and
Was it?
but I thought the fundraising workshop could be on a Tuesday as well.
Okay,
We could fit that in.
or we could do both. We could do the retreat where we also like to incorporate some team building, get to know each other, and do that on a Tuesday evening. And then just do maybe a couple hour fundraising separate on a Saturday, if we don't wanna try and do too much on a Tuesday night. I would like to at least get a fundraising workshop scheduled. Thoughts, people?
I would like that too.
When you say a fundraising workshop, something that we would bring in an outside party to
Yes.
host?
But I would also like for us to discuss long-term planning with regard to fundraising and what kind of directions we want to go and that kind of thing.
We've kind of done that on the Tuesday night thing in the past. We've also done it on a Saturday, we've done it both ways, so.
Well, and the other thing I was gonna suggest is that, if we do by chance get the radio station, that requires a lot of pretty in-depth discussions about how we,
Mhm.
How are you going to program it? How
Well,
are you going
Also the
and
potential for
advertising,
to? Yeah,
and do we need to hire someone, to develop advertising and that kind of stuff?
yeah.
Would it be wiser to have the long-term planning before we have a guest speaker?
I would think so,
And
because
we
we'd
know
have a
what
better
we need.
sense of how we apply what we get,
What we need to fundraise for.
you know?
It occurs to me that if we have more than one subject, that we should be flexible and allow them to be on different days if we need to. So if we want to do strategic planning, bonding, and/or fundraising, that's potentially 3 different topics, and not be bound to the idea that they all need to occur on one day.
Yeah.
I think that it adds to the possibility that we have a bigger total crowd.
Will you show up if we do it that way?
Well, that's the other
I didn't
challenge.
say
is
that.
It's hard to get everyone to show up. That's what makes me a little leery about doing multiple meetings. But then again,
You throw all your eggs in one basket
Yeah.
if you do them all in one day.
because as far as I recall, I don't think we've ever had 100% turnout, at least since I've gone to any of the retreats, because people are trying to avoid me. But, no, my observance is that it's hard to get everyone to show up.
Well, Tim doesn't come.
That's true, you didn't come.
A long time ago I did.
You missed the last
I think we've
2.
had pretty good
Yeah,
attendance.
it's been
I
good.
just don't do Tuesdays or Saturdays.
No, I didn't mean it wasn't good attendance, I mean, we've never had 100%.
Yeah.
It's always been like 1 or 2 people missing, it seems. So, I mean, another thing too is that we could, some of this could happen in a committee meeting, because fundraising is sort of part of outreach and development.
Fundraising is the responsibility of the entire board, it's not just a committee.
No, I agree. I'm just thinking that maybe we bite it off in chunks if we can't get everyone together. Maybe the committee kicks around some goals for fundraising and then brings it, I don't know, I'm just brainstorming.
I think it makes sense also, at least to discuss, if we're gonna have more of a strategic planning session to figure out what new programs we're gonna fundraise for, and that's sort of good retreat material, but it also is, maybe it's something we should get the rest of the staff involved in also as part of the retreat, because they know what their capabilities are and they've got aspirations that we wanna help them meet, and so thinking something along those lines, let's figure out what we wanna do and then figure out how we go about getting the money to do it.
Do we wanna do that maybe in a series of short meetings?
Yeah. Or the strategic planning might be a little longer, but, you know, and it's also a good bonding thing with the board and the staff and, you know, getting some trust there and cross-pollination.
Here's a thought, what if we decide what the focus of the retreat should be, partly based on who can go? In other words, if we can get a pretty full board, that could be a good strategy meeting, for example. And then follow up with another meeting after we've already had that would entail a workshop.
I've done a bit of research on who could be the guest speaker. You know, the Volunteer Center is running right now a 3-part fundraising series. I just didn't think it was possible for you to commit to 3 meetings. They launched it with a free workshop. I went to that, and the speaker was great. I sent him an email in early October, and no response. So
So it was a really good speaker.
yeah, either I double checked the email address. I went to him, but he just didn't respond. So he may be doing the other volunteer center thing. That's enough for him for Sonoma County. He's based in San Francisco. I did check Nonprofit Easy, and that's mostly a software database proposition with a monthly charge to take over your list of donors, your fundraising history, and a lot more than fundraising. But the one I think that would be the easiest and the most secure is Diane Brown. She lives in Sebastopol. She taught a class at Sonoma State. Thomas and I went to it in 2011. And she's now teaching with the Volunteer Center. She's doing a fundraising class. And I think she'd be very easy to arrange a day with. What I'm hearing now is a kind of a multiple theme. I think it could be a good theme for January. The idea of getting together with the staff, I would spin it out like we have an executive meeting that kind of sets the parameters of the goals. Then maybe set up interviews with the staff, one-on-one, because I can't see getting them all together at once.
Could it be done in working hours at the station, though?
Yeah, once we had a sense of where we wanted to go, we could go test the staff individually. They might say more if they're on one-to-one with a board member. Get that information. Then we have our evening meeting in January to hash all the data, and then we take that to, we invite Diane in for 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday.
What's Diane's fee?
It's quite reasonable. I don't have the number, but her website
That's
says.
all I just wanted to hear,
Yeah,
if it was reasonable.
Yeah, her website says, we love to visit face-to-face, traveling's easy, we make it very economical for you. She's a specialist out of Sebastopol, and quite good, quite high profile in this area. I didn't want to call her because I'm almost sure that she would say, yes, we're off and running, but I wanted to have a clear sense of what we were asking before I called.
Okay, so we're talking January.
January or February, but I would say we start by anchoring which meeting we want to devote to this, and then we work with a prologue and a follow-up.
I like that idea.
Works for me.
We could do the workshop on a Saturday after the meeting, and
It should be fast. I mean, that following week it should be condensed. So.
kind of,
Who has the 2014 calendar?
I do.
So what are the January and February dates? I should.
The January board meeting Tuesday is the 21st, January 21st. And February is the 18th.
And the following Saturday then would be,
Well,
yeah,
22nd.
which is not the celebrated
It
birth date of
used to be
George
George
Washington,
Washington's
but
birthday.
that is George Washington's birthday. That means
I
anything.
think the holiday is the 17th, right? Yeah.
It's a Saturday.
No, the holiday, for President's holiday is the 17th.
Right,
the 17th is?
which is,
Washington.
yeah, the day before our board meeting. I guess what we really need to do is find out the availability of Diane
Okay,
before we can,
well, if any of these dates didn't work for anybody, that would help.
right, I mean, we have board meetings scheduled for January 21 and Feb 18. So it's not like we're asking for something,
Well,
Or we could schedule her in February and even break it up into 2 board meetings. So if people didn't make it for the January board meeting where we did some of that, then we could do it the February board meeting and then do her in February after the board meeting. If you wanted to do it that way. If your concern is that some people won't be able to make one meeting, they might be able to make one of the other meetings. Does that make sense?
I think it would stretch it out a little too long, we'd lose the momentum.
Too much?
Yeah.
well, we still have the December meeting to
Well-
nail it down.
What's the date of the December meeting?
17.
So that's what we'll do then?
Well,
Move it to the December meeting?
Can we talk a bit more about the Tuesday night bonding meeting?
Yes.
Can we come crash at your house?
Sure.
Yeah, can we kick your wife out for the 3rd year in a row?
You can. The McMansion is open.
Thank you, that's really.
The 17th, I think we're gone.
I have to go.
We're taking another little trip.
The 17th of,
December,
okay, no, that isn't,
that's not the date.
that's not.
No, that's just where we would,
That's just last day.
we would nail it down as far as getting everybody to punch it in the calendar.
But if you were here on January the 21st and Saturday the 25th, we could target those 2 days.
Yeah, wait, December or January?
January.
Yeah, we're right.
I can go the next day.
Oh, wait, 21st, did you say?
Yeah, that would be the Tuesday meeting at your house.
Yeah, sure.
This was January 21st.
Yes, and then Saturday the 25th, I would try to get Diane Brown to find out whether she.
I would not be able to make the 25th. Just like, of January.
Not the 21st?
No, I can make the 21st.
Oh,
How
not the
about the
25th.
February 18th and 22nd?
I can't do the 18th.
Okay.
So not to be a bad guy in all of this, but the retreat's not on the agenda.
Yes, it is.
Where?
It is.
We
item
talked
B.
Where
about
were
that.
you?
Some
We were
agenda,
just
some people
talking
have the
about that.
first draft, some people have the second draft.
Told you, the draft I have does not.
Right,
one I
the one on the
emailed out,
table back
He's the
there,
treasurer, for crying out
But
loud.
the one I emailed out had it.
Yeah,
I
I know.
just confirmed.
that's what we were just talking about, the one back on the table does.
This one does.
He doesn't believe me now.
But I have.
Yeah, that's the
Is it on yours?
It's on mine.
one. The
He was the one who
I
said we
only
could
sent the
open
draft
it.
to Cindy and Jason, and then we corrected it and sent it to everybody, so.
Yeah, somebody sneaked it into this one.
No, it's in the one I sent you. You were
There's
too,
no
trying to save you.
snacking.
you were too busy,
Nobody snuck.
you were too busy busting me for not thanking you.
So
I
this
was
will be on the
apparently very
21st.
prepared.
Where were you
Well,
when
we
we were
have
talking about
absolutely
this
no
a
effort.
minute
We have a
ago?
problem.
He's
We either
tripping.
do it with
You
Cindy
guys
or Jason.
visiting?
I'll
Were you
choose.
chatting
I'll
again?
revise the idea for
Passing notes?
Diane Brown.
Or a different, let's just find a different.
I was
what
checking my
about,
availability.
February
Paid
1st?
for the pass.
Because I have this show coming up.
February
pen doesn't work.
1st.
There's another Saturday if you want to do it on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Or is it possible, I mean, I don't know how long her seminar would be, you know, if we combine them, you could do it all on the 21st, but that turns into a long meeting, takes away
Yeah.
the retreat aspect of it, so.
February
Well-
is definitely a better month.
February 1st, does that work for
but Cindy's
everybody?
not for the 18th.
Yeah, I'm out January 18th, but that's
No, you said
it.
February.
Wait,
February
January
don't
18th,
No, January 18th I can't, but February I'm,
No, February 18th.
is what you
So
said.
last week, John was.
Cindy, where are you going on the 18th? You mean you're not for a while?
January
No.
18th?
No, February.
I just went through this week.
February, I'm fine.
You said February 18th, you were, yeah.
I meant January.
Okay.
When I heard you saying
So we're, so
January.
February's impossible. February's generally just better for me because I don't have a show. I just have something I have to do on Saturday. I'll be out of town and I mean, I could do the 21st, but it means, or the 20th, but it means leaving the next day.
Then we are set, then we're gonna
February would be my preference.
invade Neil's house on the 18th and invite Diane on the 22nd.
All right.
22nd, okay.
Yeah.
And where's that going to be?
We've had them in different places. We had,
And that's, so two nighttime meetings in a row?
no, the Saturday we could make it a morning or an afternoon meeting. Morning would probably be
Wait, I'm
better.
sorry, the 22nd of what month?
February.
February.
Oh, February,
So
okay.
we would have a Tuesday meeting on the 18th, bonding,
Wait, is that I'm sorry, the 18th
February.
February.
of February? So the retreat is not the 21st, it's the
22nd.
21st, January 21st at
No,
my
that's out.
house?
We're not doing that anymore.
That's out. Now it's February 18th at your house.
Okay,
You gonna be here?
yeah, yep.
Okay.
Just leave the keys, send them
All
back.
meetings are now at your house.
Okay, so we are gonna target a board retreat on the 18th with a follow-up motivational speaker on fundraising on the 22nd. And do you prefer morning or,
Yeah,
yeah, so 9:30 for coffee and donuts,
Yeah,
10 o'clock
perfect.
we start,
get it out of the way.
and we're done at 1. I would say,
Any suggestions as to where we would do that?
At PCA, no?
Marcel's place.
Why not at PCA?
I mean, my house is big enough if you want to do it
we did it
there.
once at the JC. I don't know why.
If you're open to that, we could reserve a room.
That could be
Saturday.
nice.
Saturday's not a problem.
Kinda have your pick on Saturdays.
Yeah, there's still
She
classes.
volunteered her house.
Huh, that's just,
Cindy volunteered her house, it's free.
Night.
Oh, they
Night
charge
classes.
us for a room at the JC?
They would.
That's the 22nd, I'm
What's
sorry.
the rates?
that would be the Saturday. so-
Approximately 100, 300?
No, if it looks like a classroom or something like that, it's probably less than $50.
Why not the PCA office? Because if it's early in the morning,
Cause it's easier to walk to Matt's place.
Yeah, we're not open to the
I
public
might go if it was.
till 2 o'clock.
I would love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
we don't need to decide that
Yeah,
right
no, I think that's a good idea. It's we got the lounge space, can hold the whole board and a speaker.
It's free.
10
It's
o'clock?
great. 10 o'clock.
Can we turn the heat on?
Yes, we can.
It's settled, huh?
It's settled then.
I thought it was 9:30 though.
Well, I made these up from Diane's website. You can all take one. It's kind of the 13 most neglected strategies for raising money. This will kind of give you a sense of her approach. She doesn't know how to count. She starts at 13 and works backwards.
Alright.
And I would certainly be talking to her before the Tuesday retreat, so we would know sort of how to shape how she would like to shape the Saturday, and we could work towards that. Is there a board member that would like to meet with her and me to plan this? Or do you trust me and I'll set you all up with an ambush?
I will, I mean, I
Okay.
don't know when you would be meeting with her.
It'll be probably by phone. Obviously, you could, Cindy, our board chair, would be happy to speak with you, to explain kind of
On the phone, you said?
yeah, we can talk to her on the phone. That's good, and this gives us plenty of time to work around her schedule. Hopefully she's free on the 22nd. If not, I'll look for somebody else.
Well, yeah, what does that say?
Okay. Are we good with this?
Hmm.
Perfect. Okay, now we can go to new business. 11A, discussion and possible action on appointment of board directors. We have with us tonight Kathy Rivas, who Who wasn't at the last meeting? Okay, Neil wasn't, and you weren't.
I wasn't,
Yeah. We had Kathy here at the last meeting, so I don't know, did you get a chance to look at her resume, Neil, Jason?
At some
No.
point, I did, yes, I did, I think. I remember.
I kinda thought that I saw that go out, but I don't remember. Yeah. Anyway, do you have any questions of us right now, Kathy? Did anything,
No, I'm very
Mine.
interested in the fundraising side of what you're talking about. And, I think it's, especially with the radio station coming in, I think it's definitely a place where you need to be looking at, or we, however I wanna call it, looking at the strategy of where that's all gonna take and what that's gonna require. So I am interested in those things. The other things that you've talked about tonight, you know, I'm kinda open for anywhere that you might wanna slot me in to be part of what you're doing.
well, you can have all of it if you want.
No, I don't want all of it, thank you very much.
I'm teasing you.
I like the
Yeah.
fact that there's officers elected already.
Yeah. And for Neil and Jason, Kathy comes very highly recommended by Marcia, and I don't know if you wanna, for the benefit of Jason and Neil, say anything like you did at the last meeting.
What did I say?
You said all
I've
kinds of
known her,
wonderful
I've known her
things.
for a long time, and we worked together when I was at the visitors program. She was a volunteer, and she does a great job, and she's very conscientious.
Okay.
Does this mean you two are gonna form a power block of some
Yeah,
Maybe.
the women are taking over, Neil. Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
I just wanna know what I'm voting.
Are you free on the 18th and the 22nd?
I am.
Okay.
Do either of you have questions for her since you weren't here last time?
No, if you come highly recommended, I'm in favor.
Well, I don't know, I mean, if you wanna know kind of, if you look at my resume, you'd see I worked in managed a dental office for, I hate to say this, 47 years in the same practice. I worked for the father, and the father retired, and I then went to work for the son, who happens to be the same age as my youngest daughter. So that was a new experience in my life, learning to adjust myself to dealing with someone that I thought of as a child versus now I had to think of as an adult. So that's been a great experience. I still work for him 2 days a month doing his payroll and his accounts payable.
Nice.
And I tell him to keep him out of jail. So that's, and I have, you know, I'm married, I've been married, I will be married 49 years in January.
Nice.
And I have 2 daughters, 47 and 43, and 4 grandchildren that all, fortunately, all live here in Petaluma, and we're involved in.
They could be PCA members.
We're great, from basketball to football to lacrosse to soccer to softball, so we're all over the town, being part of that.
Nice.
Get her a camera.
Okay, well, I'd like to make a motion that we add Kathy to our board of directors.
I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your
Don't you
hand.
have to ask 3 times?
Nah, that's a different game. Okay, so
Welcome.
it's unanimous. You are now
Well, thank you.
part of the
I'm
PCA
good.
family.
I'm
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to it.
Have a seat.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Take a chair.
Yeah.
So take a chair, okay. Now I'm fishing.
Okay. How come we're not teasing her like we do everybody else when they join?
Give me a minute.
All right.
I can tell already.
The initiation jokes are not flying.
That's right.
Yeah.
The first meeting, she gets a pass.
See,
Hazing
they're
happens.
easy on the women. They're
Right,
brutal on the-
whenever I get
Oh,
it.
guys.
Yeah.
You wanna know when, you wanna do it when they're least expecting.
Oh.
And then never let up.
Oh.
Okay, the second item under new business, 11B, discussion and possible action on board committee assignments. And if you look on the second page of the agenda, under item 9, it shows the committees and in parentheses, the names of the board members that are currently sitting on those committees. So, we're gonna add Fishman to the executive committee. So, that has you on 3 committees already, Neil. Wait, 1, 2, yeah, it has you on 3.
As vice chair, I'm on executive committee.
Yes. Yes, and the executive committee, when we meet, when we have the need, has generally been at between 6 and 6:30, just prior to this meeting, so it's not a real hardship.
But if you wanted to give up one, you know, board members are required to be in 2 committees, so. Doesn't mean you can't be in more, but.
I like being on the finance
Wait,
committee,
Yeah.
since Matt does all the work and, and policies and procedures, I don't know that we've had a meeting
No,
lately.
we haven't. That was a very slow moving one.
Yeah,
Well, but it's been slow the last 18 months because we've met a lot before that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, we got into it.
I'm fine with the 3 committees.
and you know, since I've been doing the election calendar, there's no reason why I shouldn't be on the nominating committee. I'll put myself back on that one. If everybody's okay with that.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes,
We're gonna make all the recommendations here and just make one vote if we can.
that works.
Okay, so, Marcia, you're on outreach and development
And finance
and
and
finance, there you go, that's your 2. Okay, Jason, executive and outreach.
I'm on finance too,
Oh yeah, there you are.
so if somebody else wants to jump in on any one of those awesome committees.
If I may interject, we're gonna have 3 seats open next year for the election. So there will be
Which 3?
Cindy, you are
I'm
up
up?
for the election, yes. You were a 3-year term from 2011, 12, 13, 14.
Yay.
Matt took over Ray Johnson's, so he had 2 years left, also 2012. And Neil, you've been on almost 3 years now, 2 years now.
Okay.
So those will be the 3 seats open, so there will be nominating work. So that is a committee that could use some help.
Fishman, Davies, and Thomas. Okay, so,
Oh, Fishman, Pearson, and Thomas.
Yeah,
oh,
when am I up next?
You're gonna mutter under your breath.
But you're
It's gonna
appointed, Jason, so we'd just reappoint you.
Or,
okay.
Unless you wanted to run for a full 3 years.
Reanoint.
I'm done with running. Some shit out here, I'm being top of the deal.
Well, I can be on the nominating committee if I don't wanna run for my seat again. Oh. Whiner. Okay, okay,
Well, I'm-
looking at those, what right now is
I really know
tickling-
nothing about any of them, so I'm willing for you to put me anywhere you think would be a good place for me to start.
Well, there's only
Nominating
two.
is very
Okay,
easy.
that's fine,
There's only 2 people.
that's fine, I'll do that.
Nominating has a bit of work to do for 2 months of the year
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
in
And
the
it's-
election cycle.
it's minimal, yeah.
And then what Jason said about the outreach and development, that is the fundraising. If we had a campaign fundraiser.
That would be fine for me
That would be
to
a
go
very
in
strong
there if that's
Somebody there too.
something.
Outreach and development, okay. That's the one you wanted off of, or was it finance?
Or I'd be
You
willing
said
to go
finance.
into finance, either one.
I'm open to either one.
I mean,
I
you
would probably,
do so good with outreach.
no, I'd probably rather give up finance than outreach if I was gonna
Okay,
give up
then,
one.
then I'll jump into finance. Hate that.
I'll do
No.
finance.
What?
I'd do finance. I'd be willing to
She
work in
wants to
that.
do that. That's good.
Yeah, but given what you're talking about with your interest in fundraising,
Raising.
I'm just wondering if,
You want me somewhere else.
Outreach.
it's not that I want you
Outreach.
anywhere,
No,
yeah,
Okay, that's fine. I
finance
mean,
is-
Yeah.
I'm willing to,
what,
I was just gonna say, I mean, you know, finance is not the fundraising, it's the,
right, it's,
It's-
right, I realize that.
And I
yeah,
think
it's,
she
it's
has
ledgering and
a
stuff
lot of
like that.
experience in keeping a business going.
Oh, yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
That
It
might
would
be
be a
good.
I
nice-
didn't think about that.
And
Grooming is
Did you listen to what she
successful
said?
No, they just didn't believe her.
I told a big story. You tell me where you want me, Cindy, that's where I'll be.
You know what, I think finance would probably be good, I didn't even think about what you do in real life.
I mean, she does payroll and everything else all the
Yeah.
time. I would appreciate having someone with that background.
and especially
Yeah, and I
if Jason-
shouldn't
if
be on
Jason's
finance, cause I
stepping-
didn't pay my union dues for 10 months, there's something wrong there.
Do my own finance.
So,
on my
what-
That was kind of accidentally on purpose though, but,
You know, when you start to lean back far ahead. Makes noise,
Just
but
put
you
a
don't
rope
crash
next
either.
to it.
okay.
Okay, so.
So, it would be finance and nominating.
So Kathy. Finance. Nominating.
Okay, read back what you have right now, Jason, for the committees.
Fishman on executive, you mean for our new?
Thomas Pearson Davies Fishman is executive.
Right,
Finance is,
well, I'm just talking about the new
Yeah.
people, so Fishman on executive is new, cause he's, and then Kathy on finance and nominating committees.
And
Okay.
you're
And
withdrawing.
Cindy
me
on-
and Davies, Davies off finance.
And
Okay.
Cindy on nominating.
yeah, I'll stay on nominating, although I don't.
So that's
know
not
how
a
much I'll
change, I'm only gonna write down the
Right.
changes.
Well,
do.
Cindy's,
It wasn't showing me on nominating,
yeah,
but,
she's
Yeah.
gone.
So-
Oh, you're not, so you're getting back?
yeah, I'll go
Okay.
back on it so that I can help with the calendar.
So Fishman on executive, Kathy on financing and nominating, Davies off finance, Cindy on nominating.
I'll move it.
Okay, I'll second it.
Can you
All
second
All those in
Sharon?
favor? Aye,
Fishman,
all
aye.
right.
Fisherman.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? That's it. Wow, look at that. 5 after 8.
Just one little detail, I will make you a board binder. I didn't have one in the backlog.
Just start.
I do have, I copied the bylaws from
Oh,
the website,
okay.
and I have some other, the mission statement and that type of
Okay,
stuff, so.
well,
I don't know what's in the binder.
it's got other stuff.
Okay, great.
Move around one.
Yeah, and because we've made these assignments to committees, that
That
doesn't mean that you can't attend any or be involved with any of the other committees. It's just kind of like.
You just can't
Public
vote.
Kathy. Okay.
So there's no
Thanks.
closed session.
No closed session, so motion to adjourn?
I'll give the motion.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay. I think we're all in favor to go home, so
Okay,
good night and thank you for being here and
By-
The financial.